Hey folks, how you doing? This is Lance McBrayer with the Lance McBrayerlab, and it's Motivational Monday. So hopefully you've been staying tuned, and thank you for checking out the YouTube channel too. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button below. Now, what I'd like to talk about today are just the times that we're living in. Unfortunately, we are all still on Coronacation, yes. And along with Coronacation, there can tend to be some stress, yes. Definitely, it could be that you're just lonely and you could be stressed out from just anxiety about what's going to happen, in the immediate future as well as in, the very near future and beyond that. On the other side of our Coronacation, like, how are things going to end up for you and your family and your loved ones? So all of these things we're concerned about, our health itself. And not only our health, but the health of our children, if you have them, the health of our grandparents, our aunts, the young and the older in particular. So we just have a lot to deal with. So we need to figure out how are we going to actually deal with the stress that we have going on right now. Well, I'm going to give you about 10 ideas in ways, techniques, anything that you can do in order to relieve the stress, alleviate the tension and the anxiety and worry that you probably might be facing during our Coronacation times. And so we're going to just go ahead and talk about some of those things. Now, none of us are immune to stress, and there's been some posts that I've have posted about being able to just sort of, first of all, relax the shoulders, let the neck, be able to stay flexible, and just to breathe. Now, another thing that I believe can help to relieve stress is just to take it slow. Just calm everything down. And as I talked about earlier, just taking those deep breaths in and out. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Do it 3 times with me. In through the nose and out through the mouth. One more time. See, sometimes you're probably like, will he just go ahead and get done with this video? But we need to just slow it down. Take our time. We have almost all the time in the world right now while we're on Coronacation. So let's just go ahead and utilize it wisely. Don't feel as if you have to stay to the same pace that you were before all this craziness, started happening. So just take it slow. Remember that, we're thinking about the big picture that's going to be happening after this, not all the little things that are in the way right now or seemingly in the way, when really another totally new way is being open to you. So don't neglect it. Look for it. Find your new path. And you're going to find that it's going to be pretty amazing on the other side if you're open to it and if you let it. Now, another thing that we can think about for relieving stress is coffee. I know, I almost hate to have to tell you it. And I know many of you might just turn off the video at this point. But yes, coffee can add to our anxiety and stress. It makes the heart beat faster. It's the caffeine. And so that means any caffeinated drinks, definitely not soda and all that. Try to stay away from those things while you're on Coronacation. But coffee can be a big factor in us feeling, a little too hyper, a little too stressed. And you say, Lance, well, you might need to cut out your coffee intake. But to tell you the truth, I actually don't even drink coffee. I know. I do love the aroma and I love the taste of a good coffee, especially if it's an Italian blend. It is one of my favorite treats, and that's exactly what I do for it. I'm not saying that you have to, but maybe you can think about like scaling back from the amounts of coffee in the cups that you have every day. So just think about it, that your coffee could be adding to your stress level. And the third thing is definitely stop watching the news. I mean, I know, I understand. We all need to stay up to date with what's going on. And I'm not saying, like, don't care about that. But, like, for myself, I actually get enough dosage of it through social media, YouTube, all the things. I find what I need to find, and I can pick and choose that way. But if I'm just sitting in front of the TV for hours on end, let's say 2 or 3 hours, watching, all the things that are going on around this COVID-19, I could find myself being very tense and anxious and stressed out. And please be mindful of your children. Even if you enjoy watching so much of the news about the virus and everything, your children can still be affected too. So just keep that in mind. I'm not trying to tell anyone what to do, but just giving you some ideas about what could be stressing you out, and you don't even realize it. You don't even know. So it could be the things like I mentioned, coffee, or the news, or just even too much social media stuff too. Sometimes that can really just be a big downer, like finding out everything that's going on there too. You might not even need to do that too. So just be mindful of what could be good for you and what might not be so good for you. Got it? All right, good. Now, also take a trip on foot, even if you have to, or just take a ride. I know that we are told to stay in the house until we can get permission, if you will, to go back out, and make sure that you're not going to break any curfews that might be going on. But just maybe get out, take a drive down the highway and back, where you're not involved with interacting with any people, unless you have to go to the grocery store or some essential places like that. So just get out on foot. So just be mindful that sometimes you might just need that time by yourself, just to enjoy and just take in all the sights around you, whether it's trees or water or good architecture. Architecture? Yeah, I said that right, I think. But another good thing that you can think about doing is cleaning the house. Oh, I know, right? But sometimes if our environment isn't right, or if it's not clean, or if it's just, too much going on, then that can stress us out too. So we need to make sure that we are in a peaceful, calm environment. And I know that's way harder if you have children. However, just think about it. Get them involved in doing some of the chores around the home and making sure that your place is peaceful and, welcoming for you to just relax and enjoy, since we're going to be in our homes for quite some time, probably right now, at least some weeks. And so be mindful of that. In fact, maybe you can even tackle that drawer or that closet that you've been wanting to get to but never had the time to. Well, guess what? You're on Coronacation, so you have the time. Another thing to do is to just talk to friends and family too. And the right friends and family, I have to add to that. Because as we all know, we all have families. And sometimes the wrong family members or the wrong friends can stress us out even more too. So just don't call those ones. Really, you don't have to. You can check in on them, text them, email even, a quick call. But don't feel as if you have to talk to someone that you don't enjoy or that's not going to make you feel good afterwards. This is a time when we need to de-stress as much as possible, and that means calling our beautiful auntie or our adoring grandmother, or maybe even your little niece or nephew that's just going to tell you something totally cute or sweet about their day, and it's not going to bring you a lot of bad news. So just reach out to the right people, and especially if you are feeling depressed or you're feeling lonely or whatever, make sure you do that. Don't let yourself just keep going down into a hole or a place where you might find it more difficult to come up from. So make sure that you stay in touch with friends and family that are going to help you out and keep those vibes high. Okay. Next, we're on number 7, I think, and so keep a journal. So not a journal that talks about all the terrible and bad things that happened in your life in the past or that's happening now. No, let's make this journal a journal that will bring joy to you when you look back at it on the other side of our Coronacation. So use this journal only to tell you or to write down all of the good things that are happening every day that you find. No matter what's going on, there's going to be some things that you can find gratitude in. And the more that we are in a space of gratitude and thankfulness, then the more that will come to us. More good things will come to us. When we're just still thinking about all the bad and terrible things that are going on and nothing seems to be going right, then it's just not going to work. It's just not going to bring us into a good place. And we're trying to de-stress here, right? All right, good. So another thing that we can talk about that's kind of along that same line is just meditate. Just take some time. We did a little bit of breathing earlier, and that's what I really believe that meditating is really all about. It's just taking the time to just breathe and maybe think about the intentions that you want for yourself for the day, especially if you do this early in the day. So just take that time, whatever you decide to do in order to meditate. Let that be a time where you are just like at one with Source and just let it be. Just relax and let it be. Another thing that I've talked about in the past too is just trying something new. So it's amazing what trying something new while we're on this Coronacation can do for you. There's so many health benefits to it, as well as it makes you happier and it makes you more creative too. You'll be able to be more free to let what's been maybe inside you out and just do something new. So try something new. You can try something very small too. So instead of, when you go on your walk, instead of going to the left all the time like you normally do, go to the right. Or try brushing your teeth with your left hand if you're a righty. Just little things that are going to sort of just like, you make some of those synapses in your brain spark a little bit and say like, oh, whoa, what's going on here? It just makes you feel better. It keeps you sharper. It allows you to, like as I mentioned, just to feel something different and to experience that, and then you just end up having a better day that way. So definitely try something new. Read a new book. Go a new route on your walk. Just do something new. Cook a new meal, something that you've never cooked before. Just try something new. It's amazing what it will do for you. And talking about that, maybe this is going to be our 10th point, is to find a hobby or just really indulge in the hobby that you currently have. That's what this time is for, really. We can't go anywhere. We really have to focus on ourselves because we can't go out, right? We can't go outside. So let's go inside, okay? Let's go inside and find out what it is that really sparks us, lights that fire in us, in our hearts, in our minds, that when you just think about it, you're like, your face just comes all aglow. What is that for you? And have you found it ever in your life? And if you have, has it been a long time since you've done it? Has it been too long? Yes, I'm sure it has. Use this time now. Anyway, I hope that these little ideas and tips and techniques can serve you well in some capacity. And I'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow. But for now, enjoy the rest of your day. And I got to see the sunset. It was pretty amazing. I hope you did too. Look for it tomorrow if you didn't. All right, folks. Peace and hair grease. And let's go.